Sometimes I ask myself, what do I love about barbecue? And I think one thing I really love is the fact you can take a cheap, humble piece of meat like this pork butt down here and turn it into the most flavorful piece of meat your family can ever enjoy. Your friends and family are going to remember this one for a long time. They're going to come back for more. If you don't want these people around, do not feed them this pork butt. Stay away from it. And like a lot of things in life, this just takes a little bit of effort. Not a lot, just a little, good techniques, good rub recipe, and you're gonna knock this one out of the park. Before we get into the details, we're gonna be drinking a Big Grove beer today. I believe they're in Iowa City. If you're in Iowa, check this stuff out, Big Grove, it's delicious. All right, so it's worth mentioning the big green egg is already heating up. I've already done a little prep work there to get that going, using big chunks of lump charcoal, and then using smaller ones on top of that. That's the best way to set up an overnight cook that's gonna be really long, big chunks to small chunks. And then randomly I've worked in some cherry wood chunks, and that's gonna make it so you have a nice smoke ring on this pork butt, really nice color. It's gonna be gorgeous, you're gonna love it. And I've also put in a water pan, which is also gonna keep it nice and moist. It's winter here, it's really dry, so water pan is never a bad idea in my opinion. I use them in the summer too. So whatever smoker you're using, I recommend low and slow, 210, 215 degrees if you can maintain it there, water pan underneath, and that's gonna set us up for amazing results. All right, back to our pork butt here. I haven't touched this yet. This is your average 8-pound bone-in pork butt, or pork shoulder, or Boston butt you may find. But the important part is rather large. I like 8 pounds or so. Larger is better if you can find them. Sometimes you can't, that's okay. You can always do 2 as well if you need a lot of food. And we're gonna treat this really simply today. We're gonna use a really great rub. This rub is top secret, but I'll share it with you. So this is a really simple rub you can use for all pork. It's sugar-free. I'm going more that route these days. I just feel like the flavor comes through of all the seasonings when you leave out the sugar. I love it. If you're new to barbecue and you haven't trimmed up a pork butt before, it's really easy. You just want to trim off the fat cap so you get that nicely removed. You can still have a thin layer on top, that's perfectly okay. And then you just kind of go around the exterior and nip off any loose ends, any loose fat kind of poking out of places that looks like it's not going to be real edible. It's okay to remove because all of this is going to render down. I mean, what's going to be on there like 16, 18 hours? Just imagine the amount of change this pork butt is going to have over that time. That's another thing I love about barbecue is just that it's an experiment, right? I mean, even if you've done it 100 times, 101st time, it still might be a little different. My wife is always telling me, don't mess with the recipe. And I'm like, no, I need to mess with the recipe because, well, it's an experiment and I need to try something new every time. But this rub is a home run. Don't need to change this. Trimmed up pork butt. Just want to show you what this looks like in a little more detail before we rub it and throw it on the grill. You can see that there's still some fat on top, but it's just a very thin layer. You just don't want a thick fat cap on top because it's probably not going to render down. And there's just plenty of fat running through this pork butt. You can see kind of this marbled fat on the interior and kind of veins of fat running through the whole pork butt. So this is going to work out just great. This is what you want it to look like before you rub it. All right, here's the secret rub we're using again. This one will get it done for pork shoulder, great on ribs too, pork ribs. You can even use this on brisket. I use a little different one on brisket, but this is an all-purpose rub you can use on pretty much anything and get it done. So this is a big pork butt. Any big piece of meat that's gonna go on a charcoal smoker like the green egg, you wanna season this thing up heavily, because 16 hours of smoke is kind of gonna dull some of those seasonings. And it's just a really big piece of meat in general, so anything this thick you wanna layer up pretty thick. And we're gonna go ahead and hit all sides. All right, pork butt all seasoned up with our magic rub. And this is gonna turn out fantastic. You can see it's layered on there pretty thick. I just wanna give you a really close-up look on the meat and how thick it is on there. A lot of people like to use mustard or some sort of binder. I've never found the use for it. You can certainly try it, but for a first shot, I'd give it just like this, and see what you think, because I think it'll have plenty of flavor without the binder. And I've never had a problem getting the seasoning to stick to the meat. And it's almost like a nice regulator. If it doesn't stick, then you probably don't need more. All right, let's see how our egg's doing here. You don't generally want to go by the dome temperature reading here. It's going to read 210, 215. We got the flame boss kicking over here, and it is reading 205 right at our set point, and then we'll bump it up to 210 right after we put the meat on. I like to leave it a little bit below the set point until we actually get the meat on. If you're not familiar with the Flame Boss and other temperature regulators, I would check them out. They just make life so much easier when you're running a green egg. Not that they're bad without them, but it really does take it to the next level as far as convenience. All right, whew. Always happens in the cold. All right, so this is our setup again. We got a water pan there. I got beer in it. Heat deflector down below. And I always like to throw just one chunk of wood right in the center of the coals right before we start it. And then we have other chunks of wood already down in there, nestled in the charcoal that'll burn at a later time. Rack back on. Pork shoulder back on. I'm always amazed how they look a little bigger after you get them out of the package. You can definitely fit 2 on this rack from Ceramic Grill Store. I like this setup a lot, but it looks real pretty with just 1 on there too. Tomorrow it's gonna look amazing. And we'll throw a probe in there just for good measure, right in the center. Try to get it right in the center of the meat, and that'll stay in there. Tell us when this baby is about done. All right, hard work is done. It is easy street from here. But let's talk a little bit of strategy, just in case you have some questions on this. First, a few things that beginners sometimes do that are often mistakes. And number 1 is overloading your smoker with wood. If you have a Kamado or even a Weber or just any charcoal source smoker that's kind of relatively small, you don't need a ton of wood in there to give you lots of flavor. I have plenty of wood in there. If anything, I might have overdone a little bit. I don't think so, but just randomly place a few chunks in the charcoal, and then I like to put 1 on top, and that is gonna be plenty of smoke for this pork butt. It's gonna look beautiful and it's gonna taste even better. Okay, so why did we choose a lower temperature? Mainly because of time. I still prefer lower temperatures with pork butt because I feel it just becomes this nice kind of gelatinous, porky goodness if it goes on longer versus like a hot and fast cook. It still tastes fine, people will still be impressed, but I think generally you're gonna find have a little more impressive results for your company, your friends and family if you go lower, 225 in that range or lower. So we're going extremely low because I have a ton of time. So we're going 210 overnight, that way there'll be no surprises. I'll wake up in the morning, and if anything, I'll just kick up the temperature a little bit to finish it off. And we're not gonna go by internal temperature to see how this is done. We can use it as a guide, as a reference point. And generally 200 degrees, somewhere in there is gonna be your reference point, but it could easily be done at 190 degrees. That happens all the time. So I'll show you exactly how to know when this pork butt's gonna be done. You might be asking yourself, do I need to mop this? Do I need to use a spray? You can, but do you need to? No. For pork butt, I really don't use it. Only, if its temperatures are getting really hot. If you're in the 275 range, then yes, you should probably use a spray, a mop of some sort. And my latest recommendation is a mix of Coors Light and apple juice, 50-50. I like that one quite a bit. Use it on ribs, and that's turned out great. And I think it'd do fine on pork butt too. You can always just use like your favorite beer or your own little concoction to mop if you need to, if temperatures are getting hot. But for low temps, you really don't need it. You're gonna see how this thing turns out tomorrow morning, and you're gonna be amazed, and you're gonna wanna make it for your friends and family. It's gonna be amazing. This moment is another moment I love about barbecuing, where you have the meat on, you've done all the work, and really now it's just about anticipation of what things are gonna taste like tomorrow. That never gets old, just kind of like that you're thinking about, I'll go to bed thinking about this pork butt, and wake up thinking about this pork butt, and I'll really look forward to it every time. All right, it's judgment time. So here's the readings on the Flame Boss. The fan right now says 711, but it's been kicking up to as much as 30%, which usually you don't need it too much Yeah, see, it's kind of kicking up again now, up and down a little bit. So it's just, to me, saying the charcoal might be a little bit low, but we'll check it out. The real test, how does the pork look? Oh yeah, that's looking good. Just from initial looking at it, the bark looks great. See, it's pretty tender in a lot of places when you press on it. It's got a little bounce back yet. So this could go a little while longer, but it's feeling nice and kind of jiggly in there. So we could probably shred this right now, but I'm gonna give it a couple more hours, keeping it at this nice low temperature. And this thing's looking pretty nice. All right, let's take a peek at how the charcoal's doing, see if we need to rearrange that at all for the last couple hours. What you see here is pretty typical. It kind of burns from the inside out a lot of times. So you just kind of gotta, there's plenty of charcoal left in there. It's been on for burning 16 hours. That just shows you how efficient the green eggs and the different Kamados are. That's pretty crazy. So just need to fold this down on itself, and that is obviously plenty of charcoal to keep going. Don't need to add any more, just a little rearrangement, and this will be just fine. All right, couple hours, time to take a shower, and we'll be ready for some pulled pork. All right, this is working out perfectly. I had time to shower. I had time to go get an anniversary present for my wife, because it's our 8th anniversary today. Thank you, thank you. But let's get on to the important stuff, the pulled pork. This is gonna be amazing. It's been 18 hours and it is looking nice. It's probing at 190 and it's nice and soft. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, this is beautiful. Look at this. It is, you know, you press it and it's kind of oozing out juices, and it's really soft to the touch. You could poke your finger right through this. I'm not gonna do it right at this moment, but if you can press it, poke your finger right through, and it's soft on the underside, it's done. Even though it only probed 190, this is exactly what we're looking for. Just completely soft, giving underneath the top layer of bark. And check out the way this bark is it's kind of crispy, and that's why I don't wrap it. I like that kind of crispy bark on the outside, more texture compared to the pork underneath it, and it's gonna be so delicious. You and your family are gonna love this. All right, we've rested for around 45 minutes. It's kind of chilly out here, so it's time to rip this thing apart and see what we got. Oh yeah, look at that, just pulling apart with ease. You could use your hands. This is just gorgeous. Look at the color. And the bark has kind of like that nice textural quality to it. Woo! Holy, this is gonna be good. I mean, just look at some of these pieces. These are just, that is just ridiculous. Nice, look at that smoke ring from the cherry wood we used. This is pure heaven. What do you guys think of this? Oh, here you go. There you go. Oh yeah, it's good, right? That was absolutely delicious. I think you'll love the celery seeds, celery salt coming through that rub. Definitely try the rub on anything pork. The dogs loved it. They gave it a 10 out of 10 snarf rating. That's pretty high. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 myself. This was one of my favorite cooks I've done on video, honestly. And I think you have to give this a shot. And if you found this video useful, definitely check out this green egg brisket video. That'll get it done for you as well.